Hi, good morning. It's Monday morning with Cheryl. Today I'm going to be talking about different ways to connect with your child. I think parents are so busy and we're on our phones and our technology a lot that I think sometimes we realize that we are very distracted, guilt is charged, and not really connecting with kids, our own kids, in a meaningful way. And when we do make those connections, there's so many wonderful things that happen. We build trust, we're building our relationships, creating boundaries, self-esteem, healthy brain development, all these wonderful things. And I came across a document, or I think I downloaded it from a website, and it's someone with True North Parent Coaching. So I don't remember how I came across this particular parent coach, but I really liked the information that she created around how important it is to connect with children. So we know that when things are going well, it's very easy to connect if we take the time to do it. But sometimes when kids are struggling, it takes a little bit longer or more of an effort. And sometimes we're just really not sure what to do. So I've gone over these in different contexts before, but it doesn't hurt to think of them again in the context of how to connect with kids. One, this is really huge. We need to reframe the behavior. So when a child is having a hard time, let's say they're just not wanting to sit down and do their homework, or they're having trouble getting along with others, whatever the behavior may be, we need to think, instead of getting angry, well, you just sit down and do your homework, we need to think, what is happening here? Sometimes kids are lacking executive functioning skills. Sometimes it might be that the homework's hard and your child is struggling academically or in that particular subject. We need to reframe and think, what is behind the behavior? I believe all behavior is communication. I know you've heard me say that several times, but to really take a step back, reframe, think, what is my child trying to tell me? It really, really shifts the parent's energy and the energy of the situation to approach it that way. So that's one. There's so many different ways to connect. That's one. The other one, which I had mentioned earlier, number two, is really unplug and be present with your child, especially with so many holidays. We just finished a couple, and now Christmas is coming up, and just New Year's, and time to be with family and with our children. And I think we don't even realize how often we are distracted or communicating in a way that is not in connection with our child. Even at school, I've realized how much connection is through email, with the kids, even with email, and with the adults too, which I know is normal and it's very efficient. And yet at the same time, I think it's really nice to make that connection, eye-to-eye contact, and just to be present with each other. So think about, can you keep the phones away at dinner or on the weekends? Say we're going to have this many hours of unplugging and just being together without phones. And I know how hard that can be. Also, I think this one is huge. Style makes a difference. Think about what works for your child in the way that we communicate with them. I know oftentimes we think, well, this is what I like, but we don't think what works for our child. So take some time. And I always say, ask them. I think so often we're trying to figure it out and unsure and just not sure how to handle something or how to communicate. And if we just ask the child, say, how best can we communicate this? What would you need? What does that look like for you? And sometimes they have to think about it, but they will get there. So I just mentioned 3 things. I think that's enough for today to think about reframing and think under the reframe why the behavior is happening. And you may not have the answer. It may take some time to discover, but it's worth your effort to unplug and be present. Really, really try to get off our phones. And the third one is to think about what your child needs, how to best communicate with them. What does that look like? And even time of day, when, where, and just what they need. Does your child just need a big hug, or is your child not a hugger? And that would really send them off in a direction that's not helpful. So again, think about it. I'd love to hear your ideas more about how you connect with your child. It can be sitting down and playing a video game with them. especially with older ones. Go into their world, experiment. I also want to share that I was recently featured on the podcast That's So On Brand with Kristen Mann. And it's not about parenting at all. It's really explaining about, in my episode, what parent coaching is and setting up small businesses. So it's a brand new it's a brand new podcast for Kristen. Again, That's So On Brand. I've known Kristen, I want to say 2 years or so, and I really have loved her new podcast. Not that I was just featured either, but it's really good, and I want to encourage you to have a listen, especially my episode number 3. All right, take care.